Good evening. Good evening to all my kings and queens of the universe. This is your girl, New Queen, from the Chocolate Honey Podcast here on Anchor and on Facebook and Instagram. So make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel Black Smoke. Make sure you like the pages, Instagram and Facebook, Chocolate Honey the Podcast, and then Black Smoke here on YouTube. Um, So I know it's been a while since I've posted, and just want to give you guys a good update on what's been going on the last couple of months. Um, as you all know, I am a single mom. I am a business owner as well. Q's Food and Services. Make sure you like that page as well. Cooking with New Queen is on YouTube, and I'm going to be loading more videos, cooking videos on there as well. However, let me just catch everyone up on what's going on, what has been going on since maybe about June or so. Make sure you have your drink. Make sure you have your blunt. I have mine. No sponsor at all right now, but we have Crown World sitting up here chilling with us. And we have a good hybrid rolled up in a white owl, white peach. So let's go ahead and just get started. Okay. So back in June, I actually got some wisdom teeth pulled, and I actually got two wisdom teeth pulled, and on the left side, um, the tooth in front of that wisdom tooth actually ended up getting infected, so I ended up having to go back to the dentist 3 times. July, August, and September, and which was just this past week, and they just now finding out that I had a shard in there, which was a little piece of bone from the tooth that they actually had taken out, and that was a really big tooth that they took out. So I went in there Friday. He was really nice. The whole staff has been nice to me since I've been going back and forth, which is freaking awesome. Dr. Blocker, I fucking love you. And that he was able to take the shard out. Literally, I was probably in the chair maybe no more than 5 minutes, if that. And he gave me the gauze, told me to go home and just, chill out for a little minute. And I went home, and again, I cleaned it out, and I was fine. I've been able to talk and laugh like I usually do. I've been able to eat really good, which is a plus because, again, most of you already know I'm a tourist and I love to fucking eat. I'm a fucking foodie. This is what I love to do. So that happened. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been posting a lot, because the pain would damn near put me to sleep. I ain't gonna lie. I would just smoke and then just go to sleep. I did do some parties. I was doing festivals throughout this time. My kids was helping me, so it kind of actually worked out for the most part. I was still able to talk. I wasn't a mute or anything, but it was difficult for me to laugh and just be myself. Um, so that had happened, and of course, me being single, I'm out here trying to have a nice time and date, and I ended up running into someone who I've known probably. I used to work for this guy maybe about 14 years ago. Neither here nor there. He ended up popping up on me at the job I was working at the time. So I used to be a bartender. And he ended up popping up on me or whatever. So we talked and everything, and come to find out he's still married. And I'm like, I don't want to be part of this shit. And that was that for that. I had to let him know, like, this is not what he do. I don't want to be part of your extra ass bullshit. So I had to leave that alone. Plus, he was a Leo. He's not in my spiritual realm. His birthday is in Leo season. So my thing is, if your moon or your air is your moon or sun is rising Leo, that's different. But if your sun and moon is Leo, that's different. But if your rising is Leo, then that's kind of like not in my spiritual realm. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. We could just go ahead and just keep being friends like, we were. I see you out and about. You see me out and about. You just say hi. But I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's to the point now where I'm so invested in myself that I had to do a lot of self-reflection. And with that being said, I had to realize some things. Like, I had to come to the realization that me not having my dad in my life allowed me to make dumbass decisions. Like, if I knew what I know now, like most people say, I would have done better. You know what I'm saying? And just recently, because I sell food or whatever, there's recently this guy who I thought was pretty cute, thought was pretty funny and everything on social media. I ended up linking up with him through him wanting to buy some food or whatever. So, with that being said, that was cool. And we actually started talking. We actually went on a little date and everything. And we really didn't even go anywhere, to be honest. We actually just sat outside in the back of my house, and it was a beautiful night. I had everything set up, for us to have drinks. He's a smoker, I'm a smoker, so I'm like, okay, this is cool. We killed almost. Well, I ain't gonna say killed. We ran off a possum, but we tried to get rid of that motherfucker so it wouldn't, fuck with us. But so yeah, we was able to do that. That was fun. And then I didn't hear from him like that weekend. So this was on a Friday night we did this. And then I didn't hear from him, like barely hear from him on a Saturday and Sunday that weekend. So I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna trip. I sent out a couple of little texts like, hey, you okay? How you doing? Woo woo. And he told me, one of the nights, which was a Saturday night, he was down there with the Harley Davidson people because our city had this, anniversary special for Harley Davidson. So he was there with his cousins, which is cool. I ain't tripping. We ain't in no relationship now. We're just getting to know each other. I'm not tripping off of that. My thing is how long you've been, quote unquote, stalking me on social media. I thought that you would have wanted to know a little bit more about me, but I think it was because it just went right. And the ironic part of this is that his phone number is my angel number. So me being all in the spiritual realm and thinking like, my love, the love of my life is gonna just come in, and it's gonna be right. I'm gonna notice it, and the numbers are gonna speak to me. No, that's not how it works. So to this day, I'm actually still single. I'm still just, chilling, investing in myself and my kids and everything. And that's fine. I'm good with that. Like I told my kids just earlier this week, they actually fulfill me. I love them so much. I know that they love me and they fulfill a void for me because I have something to do. You know what I'm saying? I have my kids to talk to about silly shit, frivolous shit. We can have our little meetings. Like, we can grow as a family without the distraction of me having someone in my life right now because clearly they're not ready. So it looks like, me getting a little older, I'm starting to notice, I'm starting to sweat a little more. So I'm just gonna, and it is warm here, but not that warm, if you will. But I have been going through the change a little earlier than most. So just make sure I ain't sweating down there or nothing. But neither here or there, that's another video because I did have an incident when I got my hair done with the young lady, and she was kind of surprised, and I was just like surprised myself because it's never happened in front of nobody. But that's another video. So yeah, back to this guy. And then another thing about this guy with my angel number and his phone number, he was a Taurus too, and he was an April Taurus. So I'm thinking all these April Tauruses like myself are like these great-hearted people and everything. And I already know that most of them are, but when I talk about zodiac signs, that actually goes into characteristics and personalities of a person as well. Like, we can all be similar, stubborn, and we all love food as Tauruses and stuff. But my thing is, what are you really looking for in life? Do you really want to settle down? If you're not, then we're not compatible. Because I'm the person, like, I'm willing to wait till the right one comes along now. I've had enough partners to know what I really want. And that's as far as sexually and in an emotional state of a relationship. So at this point in my life, I just want someone that's going to be there. That's going to be serious about some shit, that really know what they want in a woman and want what they want in a relationship. I'm at the time in my life where, again, I'm almost 40. My kids are getting older. My son wants to see me with somebody. My daughter do too, but clearly I've been running to the wrong ones and they not happy about that shit. Crown Royal salted caramel is cracking. So that happened, and then in the midst of that, you know, I ended up getting let go from my bartender position on June 20th of this year. And again, for me, that was more of a dedication and loyalty thing for me because I dedicated myself to that job. And I always tend to notice myself dedicating myself to people or things that's not dedicated or loyal to me. And that's my fault. I fucked up with that. And as a grown ass woman, I can admit that I had to do some self reflection. You know what I'm saying? And self reflection for me is realizing that I'm not just a body for motherfuckers to fuck and use. I'm not just this what they would consider or what they see as a beautiful woman. I actually have a beautiful soul. I have a beautiful mind, and I'm willing to express that to other people as well. But you only want to be able to give things to people that you feel are deserving of it. And the question becomes, when? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting up here like, I've been single, like real talk, I've been single for several years. And when I say single, I haven't had a solid relationship with anyone. And the funny thing is, they speeding like a motherfucker down my street out here. The funny thing is, 2 nights ago, I actually had a dream about a former lover, someone I dealt with for about a year. And he was kind of, okay, we can call that a relationship. Because I wasn't dealing with anyone on the side or anything like that. We were literally together. Like, he would come over, I would go over to his house. We were together, and I honestly didn't think that he was a cheater, but he didn't know how to handle his liquor. We had other problems besides him cheating or whatever. That wasn't even a problem. Because he was in love with me. That I feel like I felt that. The problem came in where he didn't know how to handle his liquor. When he got drunk, he got belligerent. And we had an incident where I decided to stop talking to him. And I, took his things that was left at my house, like a few video Xbox games or whatever. And I think it was like a pot or something that I used to his. I went on and dropped that off at his house. And he didn't answer the door. Unbeknownst to me, this was the same weekend that his, it was like an anniversary of his father's death. And I didn't know that. And I dropped his stuff off to his house. And then I get these calls. As a matter of fact, I didn't even get a call that night. My sister was at my house with me. And she decided to go to the store. And she left my front door open. He pulls up. I'm actually upstairs in my room. My kids downstairs watching TV. I'm upstairs in my room just chilling, laying down, reminiscing, thinking, listening to my music. That's what the fuck I do. He walks in my shit. Proceeds to come up my stairs. And then that's when it happened. Because I kind of figured, I felt this spirit. I felt this energy. And we got into it. It was a physical altercation where he hauled off and hit me. He hit my sister. We had to go to court October 31st. I'll never forget that day. We had to go to court on Halloween. What made this situation so fucked up, this is probably where you need to spark your weed up. If you haven't already. I personally like to smoke my cigarette when I'm drinking. But if you haven't already, this is where you want to spark your weed up. We actually worked together on the same fucking floor. How about that? For a fucked up situation. So, let's say, because I'm almost positive that this Halloween, this was maybe this is 2021. I started working for the place in 2019. So this was 2018. And I believe that Halloween fell on a Thursday that year because I had to go back to work and face this motherfucker that Friday. And when I tell you we went to court, and I will never forget this bitch, Judge Valerie Carter, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost positive that's that judge's name. She treated me like I was the fucking criminal. She was so rude. She was so fucking mean. And to this day, I still feel like I should have wrote a letter about her. because she actually allowed him to get on the stand and ask me questions. Where the fuck they do that at? And my thing was, I wasn't even able to tell my whole story. I wasn't even fully able to tell her what happened. And then I was solo. I went by myself. This punk motherfucker brings his sister. And my thing is, I didn't even do nothing to him for him to do what he did. He should have never laid hands on me or my sister. And in order for me to even get a protection order, I would have had to been fired from my job. My job wouldn't even allow me to get a protection order. So I actually had a dream about this punk motherfucker the other night. I don't know what it means, but the dream was so crazy because we were all in this room that only had 4 walls. It was a small room. It looked like one of those rooms that they put sight people in. You know, with the wraps and everything, like all 4 white walls and shit. And it was other people in the room with us. It was like maybe like 4 people, including me. But I could only see him. And I believe it was some other people that I knew. But he was trying to get out of that room. And unbeknownst to me, I don't know why this dream was like this, but he had a gun. And the gun went towards each person and it came towards me. And then he was able, then I woke up, like he left out the room and I woke up. So I don't know what that was. I don't know what that means. All I know right now is that I don't want to go backwards. If anything, I want to go forward. I want to be able to be with somebody who completely respects me for who I am as a woman, for what I do. Like, I'm not out here in the streets. I'm not on drugs. I'm not like selling my body. I'm not using nobody to get where I'm trying to go. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. And my whole thing about that was, it was a traumatic experience for me because I remember specifically on that day when we went to court on October 31st, after the ruling came through, I could not stop crying. Like, I even went to the liquor store bawling, like literally crying my fucking eyes out, like to the point where the cashier girl couldn't even say nothing. Like, it's like she wanted to ask me what was wrong, but she didn't. And it was probably best that she didn't, because I probably wouldn't even been able to talk to her. And I probably wouldn't, because she don't know me like that. She just know me from coming into the store. But when you have a good rapport with people at certain stores, you know, that's just how it is. And it really hurted me. It did. People at my job looked at me funny, like I was lying about something. And the crazy part about everything is he ended up getting fired before I got let go. And it was like people kind of surrounding me, kind of was by my side then. But at that time, it was too late. I didn't try to be on my team when this shit happened. Even not be on my team, but at least understand where the fuck I'm coming from, because most of us have been through some domestic shit. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my first time. At least that was my first time with him. But I had been through a domestic dispute with both my son's father and my daughter's father. Like, I got hauled off with a closed fist in my face by my daughter's father, just because I didn't want him to come into my apartment at the time. And no, I didn't have nobody in there. I wasn't dealing with nobody at the time. My daughter with me. But he was mad at that. So I've been through domestic violence disputes before. And for some reason, this one hurted me the most because nothing was done to protect me. So right after that, I actually got, because I used to do armed security about 10 years ago when I was with my son's father. Or was it longer than that? Maybe 13, 14 years ago now, because my son is going to be 13. And I was doing security before I even had him. I actually went and got, a couple guns, and I already took some self-defense classes, some boxing classes and everything. So I was pretty well-rounded and, in the area of protecting myself, but I still wanted to make sure I was doing good. So even to this day, I still go to the gun range about 3 times a week. If I don't make it that week, I make sure I make it the next week. And I just try to double up on my time if possible. But been single for a long time, and I say all that to say maybe it's just time for me to just like I've been doing, just chill out and wait for the right person to come along and do right by me so I can do right by them, because I am a submissive woman. I ain't gonna say I can be. I am a submissive woman. That's I want to make sure my family is okay. I want to make sure my mate is okay, and I want to make sure I'm okay. So you know what? I'm getting about tired of this. Dewberry, can you bring me the fan? Bring me the fan from off the refrigerator, because I'm getting hot, and I'm sorry y'all, this is a little interlude or whatever, but it is really warm. I'm gonna have to end up taking a whole nother shower. It's only 72 degrees here, but it's super hot for me, and maybe I'm just having a hot flash, but it's okay. But yeah, so, oh yeah, definitely need that air. You need some water, please? Oh, yes. So, when you get up a little bit up in age, I started having my period when I was 13. So when you get a little bit up in age, you might start going through these hot flashes or whatever. I guess it's hitting me a little sooner because my mom went through it early as well. And right now, what all I'm trying to do is just make sure I get through this episode with y'all without passing the fuck out or sweating profusely, if you will. So, other than that stuff that's been going on, let me tell y'all another thing too. I don't know how many of y'all go through this, but this past weekend I was invited to a bike set. And it was at a clubhouse, which was really nice. I loved it. I was able to do what I love there. Drink, smoke. I was able to kick it, have fun. They played some good music. I had brought my baby sister with me. And a friend of mine, well, she's an associate, but she's a good person. I brought her with me. And I was just, first of all, I noticed that when I do take people out with me, I'm always the one to supply some stuff. Like, why nobody else can have an extra blunt with them? What the fuck is going on here? I had 2 blunts rolled, ready to kick it. They both tapped out on the weed. You know what I'm saying? My sister was ready to go home after probably about an hour and a half or whatever. So I was like, kind of like, okay, I can just go by my fucking self. And then the girl that I took with me, she talking about her fucking relationship that she having problems with. Like, bitch, I don't want to hear about that. I'm out here to have fun. I'm single. I haven't been out in several months to have a nice time. So why are we talking about this? Why are you talking about this? Because I actually got up. I got up once from the table and left, and when they got me something to drink. The second time I left, her and my sister sitting outside talking about it, because clearly they got something in common. They could talk about that. I don't want to talk about nobody's relationship when I'm out having me a nice time. I don't care. And that's not being mean. I really don't care. Like, I don't want to deal with that type of shit. Especially, I'm not in a relationship and going through that shit. And then people know what they need to do. It's not like you finna leave this man. So, shut the fuck up and deal with it. All I'm saying is, when somebody asks you to go out with them, they're not asking you to go out with them because they want to hear about your fucking problems. That's for the church, and that's for a phone call or an in-person conversation in the car where y'all chilling at the house. Not when you at a fucking club. You too old for this shit. All I'm saying. My sister in her 20s, old girl was in her 30s, and I'm actually finna be fucking 40. Might as well say I'm 40. I'm less than 6 months away. Hello. Am I? October, November, December. Okay, 6 months. Seven. I'm in April. But whatever. I'm close. I'm there. That's what matters. Jesus. Save them. Help them. Because clearly, I'm not the one. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell a man or a woman to leave anyone. if anything, I'm gonna tell you, y'all need to work that shit out. Y'all need to figure it out because you telling me for what? This is you. I'm telling you what you already know. Figure the shit out because you're not gonna leave him. That salted caramel though, motherfucking cracking. Make sure y'all get up on that because I read a little excerpt on Google that Crown Royal did like a poll or whatever, which I didn't get that fucking email, but they were saying that the maple and the peach is, people poll that better than the salted caramel. I personally don't think so, but that's just my opinion. And then, ironically, the maple, which is that was above those. Y'all say maple already? Maple and peach was above the salted caramel. I don't even like maple. But the number one was apple. Me personally, I don't like no apple whiskey. Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Crown. No, I don't like the apple. But I love the peach, the honey, and the salted caramel. And I tell y'all, I have over 124 Crown Royal salted caramel bags. And I have about 60-ish peach bags. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. So with that being said, all I'm going to say now is it's been so much going on. I want to be able to post as much.